What's up and welcome back to Cleats to Whistle podcast. I am Brad Valdez and we are here at the newly renovated North Bullitt High School, man, and it looks phenomenal. And we actually have the head coach here, Coach Carbello, and it's an honor to have you on, man.
I appreciate you having me. What a pleasure. Thanks.
Yeah, and I actually seen you on drinking bourbon, talking football, man, with you and your buddy.
I was on there a couple times, yeah. So he first interviewed Brock Roberts at North Oldham, and he and I came up in the circuit together. We both had our first job at Doss and kind of surprised him, and then he had me on separately. So, yeah, that was really cool getting to talk ball with Brock, and then talking to him on my own was really cool.
Yeah, man, we were just up there a couple weeks ago, and he's just a great dude, man.
I love him, man. We're actually scrimmaging them as they're our second scrimmage. So it'll be the first time we've ever been head coaches against each other. So I can't wait, and it's a scrimmage format, so we're both going to walk away winners. So yeah, that's gonna be real cool.
Just get that working, man.
Getting the coach against him will be real special, I think, for the both of us.
Yeah, there we go. That's awesome, man. Okay, we're just gonna get right into this, man. He's just now. He's grinding right now, man. So we're just gonna try to get into these questions, and man, we all got mentors, right? And I like to start out by, what I mean, knowing if you have any mentors, man, and just shout them out right now.
I had a really special relationship with a couple of my high school coaches. My high school head coach, Todd Moeller, when I was first getting into this, in 2016. He was one of the first guys I emailed, asked him a bunch of questions, called him, asked a bunch of questions. He gave me a lot of good direction about, football 101 and drills and, all kinds of, and so just some tips about how I should conduct myself, how I go about the business side of things. So he would probably be the first name that comes to mind. He actually just retired as athletic director at my alma mater. So he and I, we're pretty close, and he would always be one of the first people I go back to. And then my dad, he was always my coach growing up. All three sports, my coach growing up. I think always he had it in the back of his mind that maybe this is what he really wanted to do, was to be a high school football coach. So I feel really fortunate that he kind of taught me how to be a good coach, how to be a good man, how to be a good father. And I kind of ended up doing what he always wanted to do. So that's a real special thing for me.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. That's good, man.
Yeah.
So you're like basically like a coach's son?
He didn't coach me in high school, but he coached me, I started playing Little League football in second grade, and he was my coach all the way through eighth grade. Baseball coach, all from first grade through eighth grade. So I spent countless hours with him on name a ball field or a court, and he and I were together. So I think seeing him having so much love and passion for coaching young athletes, it was kind of natural that I steered this direction as well.
That's a beautiful story, man. And so you didn't grow up in Kentucky?
I didn't. We lived in Chicago growing up, and then I went to high school near St. Louis in Illinois. So it'd kind of be like New Albany. We were only 10, 12 miles into Illinois from St. Louis. It was a pretty big school. My senior year, we were super, super successful playing football there. I played a lot of Chicago schools, so it was big-time high school football, way bigger than North Bullitt or any of the schools we'll see. But it was a really, really humbling experience when you think you're pretty good at football and you go up against some schools with 4,000 students and there's 100 people on the other sideline and 10 deep. So getting to compete against some high-level football growing up was a good opportunity for me.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Yeah. And what position did you like in Little League? What Little League team did you play for? And what position?
Little League, I started my first year playing football. I was center. Little skinny kid. I was center middle linebacker, but I like to hit. So my dad and the other coach just put me in places where I could hit people every play. And then I made the transition to quarterback. In high school, it was quarterback and safety, kind of a mixture between the two once I got older.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And did you go to college to play ball?
I didn't. Me and my buddies had a couple offers to play small school football, but my dream was always to go to a big school. So I went to the University of Missouri, didn't play football. Growing up, I knew that I didn't have what it took athletically to play big college football, and I wanted to go to a big school. So I picked Mizzou. They were in the Big 12 at the time, and that's just the experience I thought I wanted for my life. So I don't regret it. So no football in college, just high school.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. And the number you wore, did it have a special meaning to you?
It didn't. I had 7 in baseball and football, but nothing special.
Okay, and what made you, you know what I mean? Like you talked about your dad and your mentor. Is that when you knew you wanted to get into coaching, or what got you into coaching?
So I actually I was a news producer, a journalist for 10 years out of college. So I'm kind of new to this. I've only been in this will be my 9th year. So I made the career transition at about like 28. My wife and I moved to Louisville, and it was her idea. She's like, why don't you try to be a football coach, get to know some people. We're new to the community. And I don't think she knew what she was getting into. And a year later, I'm like, I want to change careers and be a teacher and a football coach. So went to grad school, got my master's, and made the switch. I think building those initial relationships with young athletes in my first year at Doss kind of was what lit the fire in me. Like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. Building the relationships with kids, seeing them succeed and compete, I think is what makes this job so special, at least for me.
Yeah, it is, man. Just having this bond, you know what I mean?
There's nothing like it. You're going to share so many highs and so many lows with these young men, and kind of being there to guide them through their successes and their struggles, and getting them to accomplish things that they don't think they can accomplish, or as a freshman, and then seeing them play as a senior. I've been here for 5 years, so I've had 2 groups of boys now come through where I've coached them all 4 years. And that's something really unique about this job, is seeing young people grow up. And so I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Nice.
Nothing. Yeah.
So it was a successful switch.
It was a successful switch. If you ask my wife with how busy I am during the season, maybe not. But no, she's super supportive. But yeah, it was a definitely successful switch for sure.
There we go. And now we're just gonna get into like the football stuff, and you know what I mean, like your coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys complete? And are you calling defense, offense, or you have you're delegating that out?
So I still have one spot open. At this point, it's probably not going to get filled. That was probably the hardest part of getting this job so late in the game. I didn't get hired until the first week of June. Was filling out the staff. We're trying, for the first time in a long time, we're trying to play a 3-team schedule: Froshmore, JV, and varsity.
Right.
So it's going to take a big staff. I still got the one spot open. I call the offense. I did that last year under Coach Sams. I was offensive coordinator. And then Jason Shum, who's been with us for a couple of years, he's been defensive coordinator in the past. He'll be the defensive coordinator this year.
Okay, nice. So you guys are gelling. You guys are vibing. Well, you like you said, you just got back from camp.
Yeah, we just got back from camp, and we've all been here kind of a while. Even the newest coach to the staff, Coach Michael, who'll be coaching offensive line, I taught with him for a long, long time. So I already had a relationship with him. Shum and I taught together, and he was here last year, so I have a relationship with him. Coach Abney's been here for a while. I have a relationship with him. So it wasn't like I was coming in new and I didn't know anybody. So that was really beneficial that I already had 4 or 5 core staff guys coming in as a new head coach. But yeah, you mentioned Kentucky Wesleyan. We were there last week for 4 days as an entire program, 55 kids and 5 coaches. So it was a lot. I think even myself, especially the boys by the end, were more than exhausted. Our last padded practice Thursday morning, the staff and I sat down and we X'd out a lot of the super difficult stuff because we knew we weren't going to get anything out of it. But we got a ton of work in 4 days, and the boys got time to bond and hang out and spend time with one another. So that was something I wanted to give them. It was a huge undertaking as a first-year head coach, but I wanted to make a point to give them that special opportunity because not everybody gets to do that. So hopefully that's something we can continue in the future.
Yeah. Because I kept seeing you, tweeting out stuff. So I was like, oh my god.
I was trying to share the boy. They like that stuff, and I try to share all the good work there. But I want to brag about them. They're worth bragging about. So
yes, sir. That's awesome, man. Yeah. And now, are you still fundraising? And how can like a future sponsor get a hold of you?
The fundraising game never stops, unfortunately, as any head coach would probably admit. We never will stop trying to get money for our program because I especially want to grow the program. Right now we're about, with a few additional freshmen this week, we're probably right around 55 to 60. in 2 to 3 years, I want to be at 75. To play successful 5A football, you need 75 kids. So you can have a competitive younger Froshmore JV teams. You can have competitive practices. So the fundraising aspect of that is I need more helmets. Like I only got 5 helmets extra in there. So if I want 75 kids, I need 20 more helmets, and those ain't cheap. Our program has a unique opportunity of this new field and a brand new video scoreboard that we're going to be able to offer these sponsorships, partnerships so unique and so different than it's not going to be a banner on the fence. It's going to be a graphic on the video board. And we're offering game sponsorships where you can sponsor a home game. So, if you want to get in touch with me, I'm on Twitter. You can email the school. You can call the school. They'll give you my email address. You can message the team on Facebook. You can message me on Facebook. However, if you want to sponsor us, I'm not going to say no. We'll figure it out. We'll find a way to help each other out.
Yeah, there we go. And I will actually put his Twitter down below so you guys can just hit him up, DM him, and just come out here and just support this guy, man. Like he said, high school football, they always need that budget.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of businesses reach out already around the community, and like I said, I think it's going to be sponsorships like never before, just with the unique style and abilities that we have with our new stadium. There's going to be more people in here than we've ever had. So if you're thinking about getting your business out in front of people, this would be a really good spot to do it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The end of week 4, you know what I mean? How are you guys progressing as in installs and all that?
I think defensively and offensively we have everything installed. So in terms of like the mental aspect, I think we're in a good spot. This summer, one of my biggest goals was to up the violence from our football team, and they'll probably tired of hearing me say be violent, be violent. So we're doing a lot more hitting in practice while we have this summertime to kind of afford ourselves to do it because we can't do it as much in the season. So I think from that aspect, I couldn't be happier with the uptick in contact and violence and aggression with our boys. And doing it every day, we're hoping that it translates to Friday night. So I think from a preparation standpoint, we're in a really good spot offensively, defensively, special teams. We got all that stuff in already. It's just getting the boys continuing to fight and compete every day.
Yeah.
Because it's a grind. And, I think when you get to this point in the summer, everybody's ready to hit somebody else. So we get to pay that payday on Friday. And so this week was really good. The boys are in a good spot, and I think they're ready to get after it against someone else.
There we go,
yeah,
man.
I'm excited too.
And with that being said, how many, guys have stepped up to that leadership role?
First-year head coach, there's a lot to undertake, but one thing I knew I didn't have to worry about was the seniors. I knew they were going to be incredible leaders. I got 13 of them, and any coach would be lucky, I think, to walk into a job with these types of seniors I got. I can count on them for anything. They're leaders in the locker room. They're leaders at practice. I'll even turn around and see them coaching. And I think that's every coach's dream, if I can get a dozen kids to a point where they're able to help me out, help my staff out at practice, teach the younger kids how to go from point A to point B, and do it the way that we want to do it to our standard. The seniors, I can't say enough of good things about them. We're going to have 4 seniors on the offensive line, 5 if you count the tight end.
Oh, wow.
There's not a lot of programs where you got 5 seniors on the offensive line. And the 6th one, the center, is a junior. So, we're not lacking for senior leadership. Quarterback's already started 22 games because he started as a sophomore. So by the end of this year, he will probably have played 34 games. And It's like, they're an extension of myself and the staff on the field, and they uphold the standard that I want. So they're exceptional athletes in the program.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Nice. That's great to hear because I caught them when they were walking up from practice, and I was like, Jesus, you guys got some bodies out here, man.
Yeah, there's a few of them that really stand out. There's some grinders in there, and we, I think every football program, if they want to be successful, is going to emphasize the weight room. That's no secret. And they don't miss, attendance is, availability is the best ability.
Yes, sir.
So we emphasize attendance, we emphasize the weight room, and it's been paying off for sure.
Nice. And what does your upcoming schedule look like from your 2 scrimmages and then your week 1?
So Friday we got DeSales scrimmage, and then our second scrimmage is North Oldham. Both those teams will be a really good test for us physically. I think they're going to probably have a couple of better athletes than us at different spots on the field, which our regular season schedule will probably be the case too. So I think it's going to be a really good representation of what we're going to see when the games start to count. And then our week 1 game is Holy Cross. And, they're coming off of a Final Four appearance, and they're a quality program. So they're going to give us all we can get that week 1. That's a tough week 1 opener, but it's time to compete. So, I want to play a tough week 1 opener so we can figure out where we're at.
There we go. We are here at North Bullitt High School with Coach Carbello. It's been a great podcast, but I have 2 more questions. Has any sprint programs, you've heard of sprint football, has any of them, reached out? And how do you feel about sprint?
No, I haven't really had any college coaches reach out about any of our guys. Sprint football, we got a lot of good athletes that would fit that mold. And a lot of good hard workers who could play multiple positions who could fit that mold. I think sprint football is good. It's going to give more kids an opportunity to play the game. If they want to play the game at the next level, whether it's big time, small time, give the kids the opportunity. Let them make that choice. There's more avenues to compete and play the game. I'm all for it because there's going to be football is unique where you can't play it. You can't, I can go up to the Y and play pickup basketball, or I can play slow pitch softball or baseball. If you want to play football, it's for as long as you can. Play football for as long as you can, because you can't play contact football forever. So
right, exactly. Yeah. And Kyle Perry, if you see this, man, make sure you come out here, man. He's the coach at Bellarmine, so you need to. I'm going to tell him to get out here. Okay, and then the last question: going into this season, do you have a goal or goals that you want to see this team achieve?
Yeah, so the captains and myself sat down last month and set some goals for the team, and I think goal number 1 is to win a district championship. We have the seniors; they've taken their lumps. If you look at our record last year, we were 1-10. And everyone's going to be like, oh, there must have been absolutely terrible. But what you don't know is we played a state semifinalist and 2 state champions in our first 3 games. So I think anybody in that schedule is gonna probably take their lumps too. But the boys never quit. And I think to figure out how to win, you probably got to take some lumps along the way.
Yes, sir.
And with all these seniors, I think they're beyond ready. They're ready to do whatever it takes. And we're in a competitive spot in terms of our non-district and our district schedule. It's not a slight to anybody on our schedule, but it was no secret that South Oldham's won the Louisville 5A district for 10 of the last 11 years. And they're not in that spot, and they're not with us anymore in terms of district play. So the door's wide open for everyone in our district. I'm not saying we're the favorites or anything, but Seneca, Moore, Grayson County, North Bullitt, who knows? It's wide open. And so I think that lends itself to winning a district championship being our number 1 goal as a program. And then you get to host playoff games at a new stadium. Who wouldn't want to host a couple playoff games? You know what I mean? A credible opportunity for our boys, for sure.
Yeah, so thank you, Coach Carbello, for coming, just having me out, man.
Absolutely.
It looks beautiful out here, man. Yes, and I'll take a little quick snap of the scoreboard, and the field looking good. We just can't get on it right now. But, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Their season is getting ready to roll, and like I said, I appreciate you for coming on. And what do you guys, go Eagles?
Go Eagles, yeah. Week 3 is our home opener. If you want to come out, we're going to play defending 6A state champion Bullitt East in our home opener. Brand new stadium, week 3. So we'd love to have anybody out. It's going to be a rocking atmosphere. So, yeah, go Eagles.
Go Eagles. And here we go, Cleats to Whistle podcast. And like I say, everyone has a story. I'm here for them to tell it. Cleats to Whistle podcast.